Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have a drink and I'm going to calculate. I haven't used my voice in hours. I'm going to have a drink and I'm going to talk about how I calculate how behind I am on my work. I mean, I've brought it up a couple of times. I have a quota. And, that quota, let me set these down. Don't want to knock them over while I'm talking and make a mess, but I have a quota for my my blog posts and my videos. I've always been, I don't think ever in my life have I been caught up on everything. I have always been behind. And I have never gotten to the point where I am happy, where, I'm where I want to be. Okay, and it's, where I want to be is kind of an odd term because it's like there's one blog where I'd like to be updating it 10 years in advance. Okay? And that's my letters blog, where it's like I want everything I do in my life that's work related to be a 10-year seal. I don't talk about it for 10 years. So, updating the blog 10 years from now. There are advantages and disadvantages to this, but I mean, basically speaking, for most of my blogs and YouTube channels, they would be updated a year in advance with special videos being made whenever they become important, or special posts. Like my review blog, Richard Reviews Everything, where you see the shorts from this channel are coming. I would have it a year ahead of schedule, and then it's like, oh, McDonald's just released the McRib again. Okay, well then I go to McDonald's and I get myself a McRib, and I try myself another McRib. And I post a review of that, which is not a regularly scheduled post. Okay, for Random Street Theater, my most successful YouTube channel, I have content a year in advance, and then when a movie comes out I want to see, I see that movie immediately. I review that movie immediately, and I'm done. That's how it works. So you're constantly you're ahead of schedule a year on everything is where you'd want to be. But I think my worst blog, well, I mean, that blog is stuck in 2017. And you say, well, just start posting stuff. No. That won't get me caught up. I have to post all of the stuff that should have been posted from 2017 to the present. So one of the things that happens is you go, okay, if I'm posting, say, on a blog that's behind, I'm posting 3 a day. Okay, so you're making 2 days progress a day. So that doesn't work. So I came up with a number of how many posts, how many videos, and how many blog posts total I'm supposed to do a day. And it's not like you do this many blog posts, you do this many videos. There's just one big number. You do that many videos or that many blog posts or a combination of each, and you're fine. And I tell you, I've come up with all kinds of different ways to track this. I used to have on my desk, I had 2 glasses, and each one of them had beads in it. And it's like, okay, you've got your quota. Every time you finish something, you take a bead and you drop it into the other glass until you fill that glass, and then you switch the glasses at the end of the day. All right. Now, this came up with the first problem, is that I would forget which glass was which. But the second problem is that if you try to base things on the amount of work that you've done, it doesn't work. Like, in my camera, there's a data card like this. It has 64 gigabytes. I will likely pull this out of the camera when I finished rendering all the videos that are loaded onto my computer. I don't give myself credit for filming a video. I'm filming this video. I don't give myself credit for filming this video. I give myself credit only for the finished product, which means it's been uploaded on the computer. All right? That's a finished unit. That's the only unit I get. For this video, okay, there will probably be a background of some kind behind me, and I will give that background, the file for that background, a particular name, and that name, well, I've talked about this before, that name will go into a folder, and the folder has to have, so many files in it before I consider it finished, and then when it's finished, I start the next folder. So every week, I have a weekly quota, I have to do a folder. And it's like, if I know I've got something that's going to take me a long time, just remember, I have certain blog posts that take me, 5 or 6 minutes. I have certain ones that take me 2 or 3 hours. It's for a movie review, you've got the length of time that you watch the movie, then you've got to sit down and write the review. Sometimes I have to make notes. This can take hours. I mean, there are movies that are 5 hours long, so this takes a long time. That's probably what normally takes me the longest, but if this channel were to take off, one of the things I would do is I would go to amusement parks, and I would, talk to management, say what's allowed of me, and I would then, make videos of the rides if they let me. So it's like, all right, jump on the roller coaster, your phone is recording the whole time, and you've got a recording of the roller coaster, so you put that into a video and you upload it to YouTube, and it's all right, this is an experience. This channel bears my name, and anything I do can therefore be a YouTube channel, or a YouTube video. One of the things I considered doing was buying a Christmas event calendar, okay? And then I would take that Christmas event calendar, and it's puzzles, and then I put them on my drafting desk and arrange all the pieces and complete the puzzle for you. And that might be a video, and you'd play music in the background, and you might have to speed it up. Another idea I had was to get one of the event calendars that was for science experiments, and do the science experiments for you guys. Again, these things cost money, and this video is not monetized. So primarily I have to stick with content that's inexpensive to make. But as time goes on, theoretically, if I make money, I start to be able to have a budget and start to be able to make more videos. So, understand that some videos can take hours, some videos can take minutes. I would think that maybe the easiest thing to post would be one of my photographs from my photograph blog. I have a blog where I post a photograph every day. And it's like, it takes less than a minute for the average photograph. Do understand, though, that I had to go somewhere and take that photograph. Then I put that photograph into my computer and I manipulated it somehow. So a lot of them are false colors. And then, once I've done that, I can literally spend an entire day working on one photograph, but the end result will be 30 blog posts. The problem with that, of course, you don't then post a month of variations of one photograph. You post, I post 3 variations, preferably no more than 3 variations of the same photograph per month. And then I move on. So it's like, yes, I could have photographs for years ahead of schedule. But you have to understand that it requires certain things. And I mean, if I were able to be more active, which is a financial thing, it costs money to be active. If I were able to be more active, I would go out 3 days a week. I have friends I have a friend who lives like 50 miles away from me, and when he's, not seeing his son because he's divorced, I would call him up, be like, hey bro, are you off work tonight? I want to come down, I'll buy you dinner, man, we'll catch up. and I do that maybe once a month. And but that's a working relationship still. I would be driving down, I'd be picking him up, taking him to a restaurant. I would be writing a review of the food I eat at that restaurant. So it's not just fun. I mean, it's working fun, but it is fun. And then once I've done that, uh, drive back down here and post all that. So yeah, there's a working relationship. But anyway, so I have a quota for a week, and I have a file folder that creates that quota. And one of the questions then becomes, how far behind am I? And how do I calculate that? Because I used to actually just have it in my head. That was one method. And when I had it in my head, I would stop every now and again and calculate it again, as opposed to just looking at what I had to do. So that was a bad idea, because I would sometimes spend an hour calculating it, because it's like, okay, I'm so many days behind, and if I post so many times a day, I would need so many days to finish or get caught up. And then you take that many days and subtract it from the amount of posts you had done, so it squishes, It's, as I say, you lose one per day. So if you post 3, you only gain 2. So then the question becomes, do I calculate this in terms of days? Because I could calculate, I should be doing so many posts an hour, and it's all right, but I need to sleep sometime, so so many hours in a day I'm going to worry. The equation gets more and more complicated. So I'm not going to calculate in hours. I'm not going to calculate in days, because these things are too complicated. I'm going to calculate exclusively in weeks. And even then, if I got caught up, because I believe I'm currently 10 weeks behind. Excuse me, if I completed all 10 weeks today, all of my blogs would not be posting on schedule. And if I completed all of my weeks today, I would not be ahead of schedule as much as I want to on my blog. So these are all things I have to take into account. But it's basically speaking, I have to come into a quota. I have a quota. And I have to calculate that quota. And, one of the things I'm not going to do is have like, I'm 3.5 weeks behind. No, it's exclusively weeks. The turning of the week, which is midnight Monday into Tuesday. Monday is the deadline. Midnight Monday is the deadline. So that turning of the week, that turning is like, if I'm 9 weeks behind midnight Monday, Tuesday, it's now 10 weeks. Okay, even though it's a difference of only one day, it's 10 weeks. So that's just how I'm going to calculate it. So there's that thing, is that there's only the only time I would calculate it is Tuesday at Tuesday morning, or when I complete a folder, which is because you don't look at the folder and say, well, this is 50% done, it's half a week. No, it doesn't work that way. It's exclusively in weeks, and this is something I'm going to do. The next question, and one I'm not going to answer here, is how do I reward myself for getting caught up. Because whereas it's good to be able to know where you are, you need something to motivate yourself. But that's for another video. So yes, my drink is almost finished here. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm Richard. Hi everybody, I'm Danger Ducky, and this is the part of the video where I remind you to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm also giving time for there to be links to the next video and subscriptions. You should comment, like, and subscribe, because for every 1,000 subscribers, this channel will buy a bracelet from For Ocean, and that will pull a pound of trash out of the ocean. It's a big ocean, and there's a lot of trash there. We also buy medals from the Conqueror, and every one of those means that 5 trees are planted, so that we will have a cleaner world for you and me to live in. Danger Donkey says, be a good Samaritan, float like a butterfly, and comment, like, and subscribe!